have, of course, taken its toll on Sadio Mané, that should be involved later on in the week. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain's also there, so is Takumi Minamino, Tsimikas, Quaveen Kelleher, and of course Harvey Elliott, who came off the bench after his long absence. It was such an awful injury that he picked up back in September and finally returned to action against Cardiff with quite a lovely goal as well on the volley to really seal the win for Liverpool. Now over to the visitors, who have, well, they've had some really bad injuries this season, especially defensively, and that shows with their lineup this evening. 4 at the back with Luke Thomas and James Justin, the fullbacks either side, but no real recognised centre halves. Wilfred Ndidi, usually deployed in centre midfield as a defensive screen, is dropping further back. He's on the left-hand side of the centre half pairing alongside Daniel Amati, of course Kasper Schmeichel in goal, the captain this evening. Now, midfield holding duo of Boubakary Samare and Kiernan Dewsbury-Hall selected, picked out specifically for praise by his manager Brendan Rodgers in the build-up to this. He's said against Nottingham Forest he left him out on purpose with a view to playing in this game, and they really missed his mobility and energy in that midfield. In front of them in attacking midfield is James Maddison, wide on the wings, Mark Albrighton down the left with that really excellent set-piece delivery, and Ademola Lookman will add a bit of trickery down the right. Leading the line, Patson Dakar. Leicester City will be hoping that he can, well, reproduce those heroics that saw him score 4 goals against Spartak Moscow in the Europa League. On the bench, though, Soyuncu only fit enough to make the bench. Harvey Barnes is there. Yuri Tillemans has been dropped. Well, that's been something that's been spoken about for a few matches now by Leicester City fans. Danny Ward is the substitute goalkeeper. Kelechi Iheanacho, he tastes disappointment, just like Mohamed Salah at the Africa Cup of Nations. Nigeria, well, they didn't really turn up. Ayoze Perez is on the bench as well. Hamza Chowdhury, Ricardo Pereira and Yannick Vestergaard rounds out the Leicester City bench. Well, they're all set up in front of us, ready to go. Anfield, of course, on these weekday night times with the Kop in full voice and flags waving. All 22 players have knelt down as they continue to strive towards a more equal society. It'll be Leicester in blue shirts, white shorts and blue socks. Playing from left to right, Patson Dakar gets us underway, and it's all the way back to Ndidi. Ball diagonally to the right-hand side, into the feet of Maddison. Has to try and backheel it, but it's given away to Fabinho. Now out to Alexander-Arnold. Liverpool on the charge here. Here's Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz into the box, tries to chop onto his right foot. Good defending there by Amati. Being forced wide is the Colombian. Lays this back to Andy Robertson, inside to Fabinho. Down the left-hand side for Liverpool. It's all the way back in defence now with Virgil van Dijk. He will steer this back to Alisson. Almost an opening there for Liverpool. Luis Diaz could have struck with his left foot, tried to place it onto his right, and that's when Leicester managed to snap the ball back. But an early warning sign just a few seconds into the game. Fabinho out to the right, inside channel to Matip. He's drift forward into the Leicester City half to Alexander-Arnold. Cross to the edge of the box. Diaz once again pokes it forward. Here's Jota laid back to Diaz. Clipped out to the right-hand side for Alexander-Arnold by Thiago, but he wasn't looking. And the fullback had to try and sprint across to the touchline to try and keep it in play. Couldn't do so, and Leicester City will have a throw in level with the edge of their box. But what an opportunity they almost fashioned there, Liverpool. All of 10 seconds on the board and didn't get the shot away, but it was very dangerous looking. Throw-in has been taken, poked forward by Fabinho, cleared up but not far by Daniel Amati. It's in midfield, battling for it. That's James Justin on Luis Diaz. He's seen a lot of the ball early on. Out to the left-hand side, for inching his way forward. Inside it goes. Once again to Diaz. Distributes this back to Virgil van Dijk. He's looking up. Inside it goes to Fabinho. He's wearing the captain's armband this evening. Virgil van Dijk in place of Jordan Henderson, who is just out with a minor back problem. Should be fit to start again soon. He's in midfield here with Firmino. As we said before the game, likes to come into midfield areas and collect the ball, play football with his teammates. Ball down the left-hand side, one in the air by Luis Diaz in front of Justin. He's agricultural with the challenge there as Justin tumbles to the ground just outside the edge of the left-hand side of the Leicester City box. And that's a free kick, the first free kick Luis Diaz has conceded in the Premier League. So, interesting taste of action for him. Real test. Of course, Brendan Rodgers back to one of his old haunts. And Liverpool fans will be keenly aware of the third season syndrome that seems to follow Brendan Rodgers around. It's really going that way. They've had Europa League success, FA Cup holders, of course. He won the title all those years ago. But struggling now in 10th. Van Dijk has headed that forward from the goal kick from Kasper Schmeichel. Fabinho gets that forward. Luke Thomas lifts one over the top of the back line, but let that dribble all the way through to Alisson, who picks the ball up and bowls it to his right-hand side, where Matip will drive forward with the ball at his feet. Lovely bit of space there, picked up by Fabinho. He's driving past Albrighton, still going. Albrighton gets a foot to it, though. Good challenge there by the winger. And driving away from the midfield is Dewsbury Hall. That's the mobility that his manager was talking about. Matip, though, picked off his pass into midfield. Bit sloppy now between both teams. Laid back here to Daniel Amati. Amati poked forward to Soumare. Tries to get away from danger, but it's been robbed by Thiago. Liverpool with an overload of players here. Here's Firmino, tries to play it forward to Diaz. Andy Robertson was screaming for it. Acres of space down the left-hand side. Leicester City have blocked the attempt and trying to get this forward. Albrighton plays that back to Daniel Amati. Virgil van Dijk forward. So it's appeals for a handball off Albrighton, but they were very close to him. Referee waves away that protest, and Patson Dakar has won his side a throw-in on the halfway line, just in front of the dugouts. Mohamed Salah on the bench looks a little disappointed not to be starting. You can understand why Jürgen Klopp has decided to leave him out of the starting 11 after his exertions in the Africa Cup of Nations. Would have taken a lot out of him. Schmeichel plays that out to the right-hand side for Amati. Goes back to Schmeichel, just to the right of the penalty spot, the Leicester City captain. Strolling his way out of the area. Kips one out to the left-hand side. It's taken down on the chest by Luke Thomas. He's trying to skip past the challenge of Diogo Jota. Doesn't manage to do so, and he's running out of play. Giving the ball away on the halfway line for a Liverpool throw. Taken quickly by Alexander-Arnold to the feet of Matip. Third of the way through his own half. Goes inside to Van Dijk in a central area. First time pass back to Matip on the right-hand side of the box. Leicester City trying to press the Liverpool defenders, but they've played this out with ease into the feet of Alexander-Arnold. Led forward into Firmino's path. Now he finds Fabinho driving down right of centre. So, clumsy challenge on him in the midfield by Mark Albrighton. Fabinho just poked the ball away from Albrighton, and the foot was left dangling there, and Fabinho, obliged, went over it. Liverpool with a free kick right of centre. It's around 40 yards from goal. Not a shooting opportunity, but a good chance for Trent Alexander-Arnold to whip one of those, well, trademark quality balls into the box. Just setting this up now. He's got Andy Robertson with him for a different angle if he wants to. And, well, we'll see what happens here. Plenty of men forward for Liverpool. Virgil van Dijk's the most obvious of those in terms of targets. It's going to come in from Alexander-Arnold, right-footed. Flicked on by Firmino, but over the bar. And Kasper Schmeichel took one look at the effort off the head of the blonde highlights of Roberto Firmino. And started backpedaling, realised very quickly that was going to dip harmlessly over his crossbar. He's going to spot this one up for a goal kick. Get ready to clear this long downfield. To let you know, Chris Kavanagh is the referee this evening. His assistants are Dan Cook, Dan Robertson. Fourth official, Martin Atkinson. And VAR, Darren England, being assisted by Adrian Holmes. The clearance was out to the right-hand side. Won initially by Albrighton. Patson Dakar can't get hold of it. Fabinho nods this forward. Returned, though, into the Liverpool half by Daniel Amati. Looking for Lookman. He can't get control of the ball. Alexander-Arnold almost gives it away, but he's managed to get the pass to Thiago. Running beyond Luis Diaz goes Curtis Jones. It's later Andy Robertson. Out to the left-hand side. Level with the edge of the box is Curtis Jones. Drifting onto his right foot centrally. Clips one into the box. Nodded away by Luke Thomas. It'll break here to Matip. Midway through the Leicester City half. Out to the right-hand side for Trent Alexander-Arnold. Ball has been poked off his foot. Maddison's picked it up in the centre circle. Lovely bit of footwork. Rolled the ball behind his heel to get past Fabinho. They're on the charge here. Leicester City out to the left-hand side. Here's Lookman. Ball into Maddison. Maddison in space in the box. Left-footed strike. Good save from Alisson. Big right paw up. Leicester City hadn't looked like they really were in the mood to threaten, but suddenly James Maddison pulled the strings in midfield. Found Lookman. He returned the ball as Maddison drifted into the box. Virgil van Dijk was very deep in the box. Played Maddison on. Took on the strike from the tight angle and, well, was going to beat Alisson at the near post if he didn't swipe that big right arm up towards his head in a chopping motion. Pushes it wide of the post and out for a corner, which James Maddison himself has trotted over to this near side to take. It will be right-footed from the right-hand side, so we'll swing away from Alisson. He's playing the role of conductor at the moment, waving his arms and fingers around, trying to make sure his Liverpool defenders will do their jobs. Plenty in the box for Leicester City. Soumare's at the near post. In comes the cross from Maddison. Towards the near post, it was Soumare who won the header. Got a bit too much on it. It flicked all the way to the back post. Alexander-Arnold got it clear as he came off that far post. Lookman, though, recovered the second ball. Forward into the feet of Dewsbury Hall. Laid off to Luke Thomas. Back to Ademola Lookman. Into Dewsbury Hall once again. And once again, here it is with Luke Thomas. Tried to find Lookman again, but that was a poor pass. Picked off by Fabinho, but that's picked off in the midfield by Soumare. Maddison tries to get it through for Patson Dakar. And good strength from Virgil van Dijk. Just shields the ball. Dakar rather bounces off his quite sizable shoulders, and Alisson can collect easily. Well, that's the closest either team have come to opening the scoring. First real shot on target. Dakar was onside from the pass there, and Liverpool's defensive frailties aren't that vast, but one is they do like to push that line high and try and play offside every single time. Caught out against Crystal Palace, of course, in their last league encounter. Maddison's won the ball off Fabinho in the midfield. So one a throw in two. It's just a few yards shy of the halfway line inside the Leicester City half, down the right-hand side. Thrown in by James Justin. Back to Daniel Amati. Finds the goalkeeper. He's touched that to his left foot and fires one out to the left-hand side. That was for Luke Thomas. He tried to flick it on down the line, but only finds touch, and throw-in taken by Alexander-Arnold into the left boot of Joel Matip. 25 yards from the halfway line. Across it goes to Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk goes one way, then chops back onto his right to find Matip. He's carrying it over the halfway line, as he likes to do. Lays it back to Alexander-Arnold. 6 yard diagonally back to his right-hand side. Inside to Virgil van Dijk from the fullback. Now Curtis Jones has come to collect from Van Dijk. Across it goes to Joel Matip down that right-hand side. It's all coming back to Virgil van Dijk in the centre circle. Long ball. Looking down the left-hand side. It was for the run of Luis Diaz, but it was just a bit overhit, and Amati and James Justin combined to call their captain Kasper Schmeichel into action. He came and collected the ball, and now he'll clear this downfield after the pass back from Amati. Looked for Albrighton, lost out to Robertson. He found Firmino. Now Robertson's collected the ball. Give and go from the Brazilian. Robertson still going. Plays this to Luis Diaz on the D. Now Thiago out to the right-hand side. Crossing the opportunity for Alexander-Arnold. Gets it into the box. Daniel Amati nods it away. But it'll be picked up by Liverpool on the edge of the area. Fabinho on this left-hand inside channel. Goes wide, though, to Robertson. No cross from him, and he's been picked off the pass back to Luis Diaz for Albrighton. Early ball forward. Alisson's come very far from his goal. Midway through his half. Cleared long. James Justin's underneath it. Had a think about trying to go for the long-range effort with Alisson out of position. They're playing themselves into a bit of trouble here, and James Justin finally puts his foot through it down the line. It's collected by Virgil van Dijk, and Curtis Jones has come to collect from him. He's gone charging away towards the middle of the field. Sideways, now back to Van Dijk, down the line for Robertson. Forward ball to Diaz. Then Robertson round the corner for Diaz. He's going to collect this in a crossing position up against Justin. Close to the byline, Luis Diaz. Back to Robertson, gets the ball in early. Poor cross, doesn't get much air on it. Cleared away by Maddison. Maddison lays that off to Dewsbury Hall. Dewsbury Hall runs into a bit of traffic, tries to find a ball between the lines from James Maddison. Robbed by Matip. He's driving forward in an attacking area. Out to Luis Diaz, trying to work it onto his right foot. Goes with his left instead. Crosses it in towards the penalty spot. Cleared away by Dewsbury Hall. Out of play for a throw-in. Luis Diaz, well, they say it takes time for these players to settle in the Premier League. Players without much English football experience, but Luis Diaz in the opening 11 and a half minutes of this game has looked electric. Here's Curtis Jones. On the halfway line, plays that to Joel Matip, who takes a touch just on the centre circle. Out to the right-hand side. The right wing is Alexander-Arnold. Flicks an outside of the boot ball round the corner for Jota to follow. So cleared away by Ndidi. That's a heavy tackle on Matip in the midfield by Patson Dakar. Real striker's tackle there. Advantage was played. Chris Kavanagh has let Kasper Schmeichel clear that ball. Fabinho tumbles to the ground under the challenge of Ademola Lookman. He's nodded out to play for a Leicester City throw down the left-hand side. Luke Thomas has the ball above his head, looking for options. Not much movement from the men in blue. Finds the ball laterally to Soumare. He went to Dewsbury Hall and then back to Soumare. Out to the right-hand side for Mark Albrighton. They've swapped wings momentarily, him and Lookman. Fed the ball back by James Justin. Inside it goes from Albrighton to Justin on the underlap. Ball across the box on the 6-yard line. That was Ademola Lookman. Couldn't turn on it. Only ended up playing it backwards. And steaming away with the ball goes Luis Diaz. Good sliding challenge. He looked it anyway, but I think they might have given a foul here. But, well, James Justin. Ademola Lookman was lurking just in front of Alisson. He blindside of Alexander-Arnold, but couldn't get control of the ball. Just a bit too far for him to try something special. And Liverpool now have possession of the ball on the halfway line with Thiago. Clips one to his left. There's Andy Robertson. Tight to the touchline, just in front of the technical areas. Goes back to Van Dijk, across the back line to Matip. Matip driving forward into the Leicester City half. There's Alexander-Arnold. Now Thiago to the right of the centre circle. Slips as he launches the ball to the left-hand side. Taken down by Luis Diaz. Skips past Albrighton. Cut back to the penalty spot. Picked up by Amati, but his distribution is lacking. Picked off easily in midfield by a combination of Thiago and Fabinho. Jones to the left. Here's Luis Diaz. Back to Jones. Jones skips past Albrighton with ease. Lovely footwork there. Lifts one to Alexander-Arnold. Nodded forward, though, by Luke Thomas. It's now Ademola Lookman. Caught in possession by Fabinho. Forward ball to Firmino. Now back to Fabinho. They've given the ball away, though, Liverpool. And Leicester City driving forward with Patson Dakar. Doing well to hold the ball up and drew the foul on the edge of the centre circle inside the Liverpool half. Matip throws his arms up in frustration, and wow, that's a real grimace on his face. Lovely, strong play by Patson Dakar. He did feel the touch by Matip and went to ground quite easily. But Chris Kavanagh gave him the free kick, which has been played now backwards by Maddison into Samare, back to Amati, across to Ndidi. Now back to Amati once again, midway through his own half, right of centre. Now Ndidi, left of centre. Rolls the ball one way then the other. Forward ball into Maddison. Firm first time ball to Amati. Now to try to backheel it and picked off by Curtis. Coming in off the wing. Running across the field to the right hand side. Finds Alexander-Arnold. Now 6 yards diagonally to his left is Thiago. Back to Matip. Now Van Dijk to Jones. Firmino returns it to Jones. Across it goes to Joel Matip, right of centre inside his own half. Across the halfway line it goes to Thiago. Now to the right-hand side, Alexander-Arnold is, as he always does, hugging that touchline very high up. More a winger than a fullback. Here is Van Dijk on a foray forward. Firmino collects from him, tries to find the ball forward to Luis Diaz. Picked off by Amati, but it will go straight back to Van Dijk. Finds Robertson down the left, inside to Fabinho. Laid off to Firmino. Firmino skips past one challenge. Now into the feet of Luis Diaz once again. 35 yards from goal to the left-hand side for Robertson. Tries to find the ball down the line for Firmino. Cleared out of play by Albrighton, but Andy Robertson jumped with him. And Mark Albrighton went down in a heat like he'd been shot in the knee. As he cleared that ball, he just kicked into the midriff of Andy Robertson. Well, he was very angry with the free kick being given. I can understand why. The reaction from Mark Albrighton was quite a dramatic one. He's back on his feet and he doesn't look particularly hurt at all. Schmeichel clears long downfield to the right-hand side. The car's underneath it, but so's Van Dijk. He nods that forward. Only as far as Sumare. Tries to find James Maddison. Looked like he was being held there by Fabinho. Nothing given by the referee. Cleared forward by Van Dijk. Picked off by Luke Thomas. It's going to find its way via a deflection off Matip into the feet of Lookman in the central area. Back to Sumare. Finds Daniel Amati to the right-hand side of the centre circle inside his own half. Forward by Ndidi to Sumare. Laid out to the left-hand side for Thomas. Ball forward looking for Patson Dakar. Fighting with Virgil van Dijk, who stumbles away. Thought he was being pushed and pulled there by the Zambian. So play has been allowed to continue. Van Dijk. Forward ball to Curtis Jones. Jones running laterally across the field and then finally passing it to Fabinho, who will take this forward. Ball over the top looking for Jota. And Kasper Schmeichel read that very well. Was skipped off the turf. He was right at the edge of his area. Had to judge that perfectly. Otherwise there was going to be egg on his face there. But the quality of Kasper Schmeichel really told. Catches the ball easily. Settles his defenders down. Sends the ball forward. He's got the ball in his hand now. Checks over his shoulder. Drops it on the edge of the area. So gesticulating, trying to get a bit more movement from those in blue. It's a casual ball out to the right-hand side. One in the air by Jones. He nodded it up, tried to take it down, but his second touch off the boot was not particularly good. Really shinned that out of play for a Leicester City throw, just in front of their manager, Brendan Rodgers. Here's James Justin. Throws into Maddison. Maddison tries to work it forward. It's blocked by Firmino. Firmino left it, but that allowed Leicester City to nip in. Here's Ademola Lookman, but surrounded by players. It's a kind deflection. Chases the ball down. Here's Robertson trying to get away from Mark Albrighton and finally gets the ball forward to Curtis Jones. Jones has been robbed by Maddison, but it's broken to Robertson here on the corner of his own box, and finally they found a ball out, and Liverpool have bodies steaming forward. Curtis Jones is in acres of space. He's been found with a lovely ball by Alexander-Arnold. Up to the edge of the penalty area now. Forward ball to Firmino in the crossing position near the byline. Tries to cut it back for Diaz. Jones gets involved too. It's broken to the right-hand side. Alexander-Arnold is left foot and pushed behind the bar by Kasper Schmeichel. We'll have a look at the strike here on Alexander-Arnold's unfavoured left foot. Kasper Schmeichel made a bit of a meal of that. Was probably anticipating that to be a bit more in the corners, and it comes almost straight at him, just towards his right-hand side, and adjusted his body in time to push that round the post and over the bar for a Liverpool corner, which will be taken by the man who won it, Alexander-Arnold. Trying to spot this up perfectly in the quadrant. And Dijk is on the edge of the area. Matip runs towards the near post. In it comes towards Matip. Nodded away by Amati. Kept in play by Alexander-Arnold. Into the feet of Curtis Jones. Right of centre on that far side. Robertson takes a touch on the centre spot. Tries to find the right-hand side for Firmino. Nodded forward by Thomas. Into the feet of Ademola Lookman. He's done well to keep possession of this and gone inside to Dewsbury Hall. Runs away from Firmino. Lays this back to Amati. Out to the right-hand side for James Justin. Justin back to Amati. Amati taking a bit of time. Steers it back to Kasper Schmeichel. Schmeichel wants his wingers wider. Has to clip one to James Justin. Over the top of him and Andy Robertson. Straight out of play to Brendan Rodgers, who doesn't look happy with the distribution. He's really laying into his players there, Brendan Rodgers. Of course, former Liverpool manager. Forward into the feet of Thiago from Virgil van Dijk. Matip. Down the right-hand side it goes to Alexander-Arnold, but he's under a bit of pressure. Plays it back to Matip. Now in the centre circle is Virgil van Dijk. Back to Matip. And then once again with Alexander-Arnold. Alexander-Arnold sees Jota find a bit of space as Luke Thomas's attention was caught by Curtis Jones. It's back with Alexander-Arnold, and now Virgil van Dijk. Bit of space to run into here. Eats up the green acres. Down the left-hand side for Andy Robertson. Skips past one challenge, then another. Through ball from Thiago to Robertson in the box. It's going to break here to Luis Diaz. Diaz still steaming towards the byline. Finally cleared by Leicester City. Dewsbury Hall and Albrighton in the end got the clearance out of play. Threatening. They're inching ever closer here, Liverpool. Robertson throws into Diaz. Takes it down on his chest, and well, he's going to steer this back towards his own half. Virgil van Dijk will have to run quite some distance, and I think he had a little word with Luis Diaz, who's just received the pass on the halfway line down the left-hand side and then shifted it out to Joel Matip, right of centre. Forward ball down the line for Alexander-Arnold. Crossing position, lots of space. Ball in towards Jota. Nodded away, though, by Ndidi. Luis Diaz has shifted this to the left for Andy Robertson. Cross towards the back post. Underneath it's Curtis Jones. Tries to keep it in play. A little bit overhit from the Scotland captain. Jones trying to run away from Luke Thomas. He's doing well too. Forced him wide and deeper, but the ball is down the line from Alexander-Arnold to Jota. Jota lays this back to Curtis Jones once again. Midway through the Leicester City half. Now Matip. All outfield players in red are in the Leicester City half now. That attempted ball forward from Fabinho is a poor one. Luke Thomas picks that off. Plays that to Patson Dakar down the left-hand side for Lookman. Lookman runs into traffic and Fabinho goes back to Maddison, who returns it to Lookman, who found a bit of space. Now here's Dewsbury Hall, shifts it to the right-hand side. James Justin forward from fullback. Trying to get some support. He has it in the form of Soumare. Lays that back to Daniel Amati. Now Wilfred Ndidi. Forward ball to Dewsbury Hall. First time ball back to Ndidi. Across it goes to Amati. Change of angle from Leicester City. Nothing doing though. Back to Wilfred Ndidi to the left-hand side of that centre circle. So following the curved line out to the left-hand side now for Ademola Lookman. Takes it down on his chest. Lays this back to Luke Thomas. And all the way back it goes to Amati once again. We're back at square one. And Amati across to Wilfred Ndidi. Forward ball to Sumare. Now Dewsbury Hall. Back to Ndidi. Very central, just shy of the centre circle. Long ball forward, looking for the run of Albrighton. He looks like he'll get on the end of this and keeps it in play with his right boot. Back heel into the shins of Andy Robertson. Appealed for the corner, but it clearly was a Leicester City one. Andy Robertson appealing for that goal kick. Mark Albrighton getting the decision. This will be a corner from the right-hand side. Leicester City, well, one of their soft underbellies this season. They've been quite porous at the back, and you can understand with all the injuries they've had. Johnny Evans, of course, one of the big ones, in and out of the side so often. So these set-piece opportunities could be so important for Leicester City. James Maddison will take this, right-footed from the right-hand side. Two hands in the air. This will swing away from Alisson. In comes the corner now. It's towards the central area. Alisson punches, kind of flapped at it though. So cleared by Luis Diaz, only as far as Jones. Out to the right for Maddison. Flags up. Wasn't quick enough to get back into an onside position. And Dan Cook explains it to him. James Maddison speaking to the referee about something. As Alisson takes the free kick into the feet of Matip. Now Virgil van Dijk, left of centre, midway through his own half. Forward ball to Thiago. Returns to Van Dijk. Now right of centre is Matip. Matip looking for an option. Instead will go straight back to Virgil van Dijk. He takes a touch and out to the left-hand side for Robertson. Ball down the line, taken in by Thiago. Turn past James Justin and then crumples down in a heap on the touchline on the halfway line. Justin just sold by the dummy, and it, well, on second look, it looks like Thiago's kicked himself in the back of the heel. The challenge was agricultural. Almost given away there by Curtis Jones. Under pressure from Lookman, but they force it forward, and the ball has broken from Leicester. Long ball forward looking for Patson Dakar. He's putting Matip under pressure. Matip will steer it back to the goalkeeper, Alisson. And frustration here for Liverpool. And their fans all protest at the decision. Matip was quite tight to that touchline on the far side, and referee has given this as a throw. Looked like good, tidy defensive work from Joel Matip, but alas, it will be a Leicester City throw down the left-hand side. Here is Luke Thomas, throws into Dewsbury Hall, turns away from Firmino, but in doing so runs straight into Fabinho. Cleared by Alexander-Arnold, left-footed. So only as far as Ndidi, nods it back into the Liverpool half, forward by Fabinho, off the head, now on the deck it goes to Robertson from Firmino, inside to Thiago. Thiago to the right, Alexander-Arnold's in space, Lookman had left him. And then came across the press, and Alexander-Arnold responds by firing back to the defence in Matip, then Van Dijk, now Thiago. Now Luis Diaz down the left. Finds Andy Robertson, hugging that touchline, getting chalk on his boots. Forward by Thiago. Reverse pass to Firmino. Now Diaz wide, back inside to Firmino. Laid back to Thiago. To the right-hand side to Matip. Matip driving forward diagonally from right to left. Tries to find one forward for Firmino. He's fighting Ndidi for it. Ndidi's won that there. Still fighting was Firmino. It almost broke to Jota. To the edge of the area. Luis Diaz recovers the ball for Liverpool. Crossed in by Alexander-Arnold to the back post. Almost there for Andy Robertson. And that's a horrific challenge. Andy Robertson in stooping to try and reach the ball. He was really off balance. He stumbled and taken the full brunt and the full force of that post. Kasper Schmeichel is immediately waved to the bench. This does not look good for Andy Robertson. He's clearly in some pain. Just stumbled as Albrighton challenged for the ball. No foul there, but Robertson was inches away from getting on it, and that's a heavy, heavy collision with that post. The full force of his momentum carried him into the base of that post and slammed into his back and right shoulder. Well, I'm happy to say that Robertson has sat up now. He is being seen by the Liverpool medical team. Dr. Jim Moxon, the club doctor, up to his feet, just trying to work on that right shoulder. He's given a nod to his teammates. Looks okay. Really ugly looking collision, but Robertson's just feeling at his right shoulder. And looks like he'll be okay to continue. He'll definitely be battered and bruised in the morning, but brave play by Andy Robertson. It's nice to see on the replays that his head didn't really make contact with that post. And in the melee ensuing, it was out of play for a Leicester City throw. No touch on the ball from a blue shirt. Following the cross from Alexander-Arnold. The other game this evening is Wolves-Arsenal. And Arsenal lead there thanks to a goal from Gabriel. Thrown in. Long ball forward. Maddison chases. Matip wins the header. Tries to find Robertson. It's too high for him, and Justin will have another throw in to take. Soumaré is the closest man to him. Trying to make some space. Running from deep comes Dewsbury Hall. Back to James Justin. He's under significant pressure here. Tries to get the ball away. Thiago rather blocks it. Firmino was also there. And Justin will have to throw this in once again. Soumaré comes running from far up the field. Thrown into Dakar. Challenge with Thiago. Dakar down on the ground, clutching at his back. A lovely back heel there from Diogo Jota, looking for Firmino or Luis Diaz. Dakar still on the deck. James Justin will let this dribble out of play. And Patson Dakar will receive some treatment. So, well, no goals yet in this game. But 11 of the 32 games these two sides have played have ended with both teams scoring at least 2 goals. One of those games where they didn't manage to do that was one of Leicester City's only 2 wins since November. And that was that 1-0 victory over the Reds back at the King Power. Patson Dakar being attended to now by the Leicester City physios. Matt Reeves and Brian English, they're on the field just helping him to his feet. He's hobbling, the Zambian. Out to the touchline. Not huge amounts of cover in attacking senses for Patson Dakar. Iheanacho could be an option. Jose Perez, of course, too. And Dakar's just clutching at his ribs. Not entirely sure what happened there. He's just having a word with Martin Atkinson, who will have to usher him back into play. To Firmino, fighting for the ball on the touchline. It came off his chest last, following a touch from Albrighton. And, well, James Justin's seen a lot of the ball in the past minute or so, mostly from these throw-ins. So, thrown down the line, won easily by Curtis Jones under no pressure. Thiago heads back to Matip. Forward ball from Alexander-Arnold, looking for Firmino. Out on the left-hand side. Amati gets his body between Firmino and the ball, turns on it and manages to release it forward to Soumaré. But Soumaré's been surrounded by 4 Liverpool players. Can't get away from them. Still Soumaré. He's battled so well to keep the ball there. And eventually out of play off of him for a Liverpool throw. Robertson wants to take it quick. No options there for him, though. Has to go back now to Virgil van Dijk. Takes a touch and carries it towards the centre of the field, where Matip will receive his pass in the centre circle, just shy of the halfway line. Back to Virgil van Dijk, a couple of feet to the left of that centre circle. Out to the right-hand side for Alexander-Arnold. Long ball in the air. Lovely take down by the England fullback. Steered back to Matip. Now 10 yards to his left is Virgil van Dijk. Back to Matip. Matip looks for a ball. It's Thiago filling in at fullback with Alexander-Arnold playing that winging role. And now he's been robbed by Ademola Lookman. Forward ball to James Maddison, trying to fight off Matip, but in distributing the ball backwards, he wasn't looking. Jota's going on a long-ranging run there. A tackle came in from Ndidi. It was a heavy one too. And there'll be a free kick in a dangerous area here. It's around 10 or 12 yards outside the box. Wilfred Ndidi, frustrated. He had to do something. Diogo Jota was building up a head of steam. Some momentum really carrying him towards the penalty area. Right now, Kasper Schmeichel will set up the wall. There is a embarrassment of riches for Liverpool in terms of set-piece takers. Alexander-Arnold looks like he's taken control of this situation. Out comes the spray from Chris Kavanagh, trying to get the 4-man wall to stand behind it. Looks like it will be the right boot of Trent Alexander-Arnold. Andy Robertson, of course, is there too. They want a left-footed option. It's to the right of the goal, so probably would favour that left footer. But Alexander-Arnold, he's got such a good technique and set-piece delivery. And it does look like it will be him to hit it. Alexander-Arnold. Intense. Up to the ball. Strikes. Clips over the top. Set-piece routine. It's going to drop to Firmino here. Still Firmino. Firmino strikes. Blocked away by Albrighton. Over the bar for a corner. Well, that's what Liverpool are saying anyway. A lovely routine. Alexander-Arnold just chipped it in the air. Looking for Van Dijk. It dropped after the header from Luke Thomas into the feet of Firmino. He juggled it once. Few challenges there. It cannoned off of Amati, off Firmino, off of Albrighton. Looked like Albrighton might have got the last touch, and referee has given the corner. Will be taken from the right-hand side by Alexander-Arnold. Chris Kavanagh needs to have a word here. Just tells his assistants to delay the corner. He's just gone to talk to Luis Diaz to tell him to be a little more gentle. He's back into the goalkeeper. Dewsbury Hall's Kasper Schmeichel's protection just in front of him. 4 steps away from the ball from Alexander-Arnold. Surrounded by phones in that Liverpool corner. In comes the cross. It's Van Dijk. It's a lovely save, but it's only to the foot of Jota. He's finished it off. Van Dijk at the near post. Headed it at goal. Good save by Schmeichel. But there was no one there on the rebound for Leicester City. Diogo Jota was. His fine run of form continues. It was a first-time finish. Volleyed straight past Kasper Schmeichel, who could do nothing. He'd made the save. He's no time to recover on the ground. The corner once again strikes. Leicester City once again concede from a set piece. They've really had a trouble. Van Dijk was just allowed to run. Looks like they were marking zonally there, and Van Dijk found a bit of space. The header was a good one. The save was a good one too. Had to react quickly, did Schmeichel, and he won't be happy with that, to be fair. Had the opportunity to push it round, push it laterally, straight back into the centre of the penalty area. Jota was there, made no mistake. The ball skipped up off the turf onto his right boot. And Kasper Schmeichel does look disappointed there. 1-0 Liverpool. Diogo Jota with the opener in this game, and you have to say it is deserved. Here's Curtis Jones. Tries to run away from Lookman. Gave the ball away, Maddison. And Patson Dakar just got their wires crossed. Dakar went to the left, the pass went to the right, and Liverpool have got this clear. Firmino wins the header just in front of Ndidi. Little shove there from Firmino, put the Nigerian off balance. Finally came off the heels of Ndidi, out of play right next to the corner flag. In fact, hit the base of the corner flag. And the referee's assistant has changed his mind. It looked $1 million like that was going to be a Liverpool throw. Looked like it came off the heels of Wilfred Ndidi, but now Luke Thomas has the throw. Throws down the line, and it's one in the air by Alexander-Arnold. Well, that's a bit unnecessary from Diogo Jota. He went running straight into Wilfred Ndidi. Didn't look like there was any attempt to challenge for the ball, and rather threw his shoulder into the chest of the Nigerian, who's playing at centre-half tonight. Fortunately for him, Ndidi didn't really react. He was just holding his ground. And there will be a goal kick here to be taken by Kasper Schmeichel. Will be launched out to the right-hand side. Out goes the ball. Underneath it is Curtis Jones. He doesn't win the header. It drops fortuitously to Dakar, but he can't keep control of the ball. The ball has been launched down the left-hand side. Luis Diaz collects it. James Justin with a sliding challenge. Gets the ball out of play for a throw-in. Diaz. Dramatic fall, but recovered quickly. And back to his feet. Nice to see that. Thrown in by Robertson. It was a firm but fair challenge from Justin, and Luis Diaz recognised it. Van Dijk to Matip in the centre circle. Back to Van Dijk, left of the centre circle. To the right-hand side it goes to Thiago. Really does love operating in that quarterback role. The pass from Firmino out to the right for Alexander-Arnold's very undercooked, and Leicester City will try and get going with a throw down the line. That's picked off by Thiago. Taken quickly by Maddison into Ademola Lookman. Lookman holding off the challenges. He's drifting towards the centre circle. Forward ball to Soumare. Soumare with a bit of support now with James Justin bursting forward from right back. Out to Albrighton. Back to Soumare. Soumare's in a bit of trouble there. A bit of traffic and has to go back to Daniel Amati. In the midfield is Dewsbury Hall. Going to steer away from his half to the left-hand side now to Luke Thomas. And poor touch allows Diogo Jota in to rob him. Forward ball from Alexander-Arnold into Firmino's feet just on the halfway line. He's turned and driving forward now and Lost possession of the ball, stumbled at the feet of Soumare. Forward ball to Maddison from Ndidi. Now Soumare to the left of him. Wide on the left-hand side is Lookman. Bit of space. Matip comes across the challenge. Forward ball to Dewsbury Hall. Tries to chop back for the cutback. Firmino's there. Corner kick. Firmino cleared into the carpet. Obviously caught someone. He's put his hand up in apology. I think he's got a thumbs up. Potentially that supporter for being in the wrong place at the wrong time might have a match-worn Fabinho shirt at the end of this 90 minutes. Anyway, there will be a corner, and once again it will be Maddison to take from the left-hand side. The Liverpool crowd on their feet. They've seen their hero, Mo Salah, warming up on the touchline. Taken short by Maddison to Lookman. Return to Maddison. Now Lookman once again. Lookman from the corner of the box. Still Lookman. 3 players in his way. And he took the wrong chance there. Tried to go past all of them, and this being carried away by Robertson. Real overload of players by Liverpool. Tried to find the early ball forward to Luis Diaz. It was just behind him, and Leicester City pick it off. Can be caught on the transition here, Liverpool. And, well, that's a hefty challenge in the midfield on James Maddison. Free kick has been given Leicester City's way. And Ademola Lookman almost, well, went from being in a really encouraging position to a really threatening one for Leicester City. Could have tried to find the pass, instead tried to run past 4 Liverpool players. But indeed, he's tried to lift the ball out to him, and that's an awful pass, woeful. Too far in front of him, straight out of play. Cannoned into the advertising hoardings on that far side. Liverpool throw Alexander-Arnold will take. Throws into midfield for Curtis Jones. We're inching towards half-time now, around 6 minutes to go as Justin launches that up in the air. Patson Dakar tries to back into Virgil van Dijk. Little kick out maybe by Dakar. It's dropped here for Albrighton. Trying to run away from Jones. Luis Diaz presses Justin, who plays that back to Daniel Amati. Marty on the halfway line, right of centre. Ball tries to find it for James Justin, just a little bit behind him and out of play. Robertson takes the throw into the foot of Fabinho. Turns back towards his own goal and finds Virgil van Dijk on the corner of his box. Van Dijk rolls it one way, then the other. There he goes to his favourite pass recipient. That's Joel Matip. Back to Virgil van Dijk. Forward ball to Curtis Jones. And back across it goes to the right-hand side where Matip will take over and inch his way forward now into the feet of Fabinho. Returns it to Matip. Liverpool love to do this, just working around the back line a little bit before they just go through the gears quickly. Here's Virgil van Dijk. Thiago's come to collect. First time ball to Matip. Very central here. Almost at the halfway line. Just shy of the centre circle are the Liverpool defenders. Virgil van Dijk back to Matip. Matip to Thiago, filling in as an auxiliary fullback with Alexander-Arnold now in possession of the ball down the line. Inside it goes to Firmino. Back heel to Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz drifting to the left. It's out to Robertson. Robertson in a crossing position on the corner of the box. It finds Fabinho. Central area, edge of the area. Here is Luis Diaz. Forward ball to Firmino. Firmino turns on it. Firmino onto his right foot. Can't get the shot away. It's broken to Robertson. Cross into the box. One in the air by Daniel Amati. Cleared by Justin. Matip will keep the attack alive. Nods it forward. Curtis Jones found some strength. It's come off his shins into Fabinho. Diaz to the left-hand side. Here's Robertson. Cross to the back post. Punched away by him. Kasper Schmeichel. Acrobatic effort from distance. Would have been something really special from Thiago in the edge of the area. Kasper Schmeichel out of position after punching the cross from Andy Robertson. Had to intervene there, otherwise it was a tap-in for Jones. Thiago went for the spectacular overhead kick. Bicycle kick, scissor kick, whatever you want to call it. And it's only narrowly wide. Kasper Schmeichel looks so confident. He puts his arms in the air to say that's going wide. But in reality, it was just a whisker away from clipping the post. Robertson's got some defending to do here. He doesn't do it very well. Here's Maddison. Maddison hauled to the ground surely by Fabinho. No, says the referee. Tells him to get to his feet. Liverpool will play down the line. Luis Diaz being pushed and pulled by James Justin. But Diaz still in possession. Sliding tackle came in, but it just took the ball to Thiago. Now to the right-hand side to Joel Matip. Down the right-hand touchline it goes to Alexander-Arnold. Inside to Firmino. 30 yards from goal. Ever closing. Strikes from distance. Central. Straight into the gloves of Kasper Schmeichel. Pads it down. Then collects. Wow. What an effort that would have been from Thiago. It's well caught by Firmino just then from the long-range shot. Just no direction on it. And sigh of relief from Kasper Schmeichel. He's just waved away his centre-backs. Not that they are regular centre-backs. And drops it at his feet. Schmeichel clears long Out to the right-hand side, one in the air by Albrighton. Tries to find Dakar, but Virgil van Dijk's in his way. Pokes that forward. It will break all the way to Amati. Steers this back to Schmeichel. First time clearance. Up towards the halfway line. Dakar will challenge Curtis Jones for it. Jones wins the ball in the air, though. James Justin wins it again. Nods lovely throw. James Maddison on the volley. So, didn't get a hold of that particularly well. Just skewered off of his foot. Swung away from goal. Goal kick taken quickly and short to Robertson from Alisson. Ball down the left-hand touchline looking for Jota. He went down under the challenge. It was Luis Diaz in the end, and James Justin was the man challenging him from behind. Just stopped suddenly, did Luis Diaz. James Justin, his momentum carried him into the back of the Colombian. The free kick has been taken, and here's Matip carrying the ball forward, right of centre for Liverpool. Now to left of centre for Fabinho. Fabinho to his left-hand side for Robertson. Back to Fabinho, beats the outstretched leg of Patson Dakar. There's Fabinho, back to Matip, right of centre, into the Leicester City half. Now down the line for Alexander-Arnold. Clips an outside of the boot, ball round the corner for Thiago. Thiago tried to win the ball again. It's a slip there. Unfortunate one from Ndidi. Thiago's being forced towards the corner flag by Luke Thomas. There is Lookman with him as well. Didn't go out of play, but it's given it away to Jota on the edge of the area. Jota inside to Firmino. Lovely turn from Firmino. Could have gone down. Decided not to. Tried to get the shot away. Cut it back towards the penalty spot for Luis Diaz. Cleared away by Dewsbury Hall. It's a good release ball as well. Patson Dakar appeals for the handball. No, it's going to be a throw into Liverpool. Taken by Matip. Back to the keeper. Ball to the left-hand side for Curtis Jones. He's got Andy Robertson in space and plays it to the Scottish captain. Curtis Jones left of centre just over the halfway line. Plenty of bodies forward. Firmino collects it. Now out to the left for Robertson. Sold the pass short. The sliding tackle came in from James Justin and cannons off of the knee of Andy Robertson into the cop and out of play for a goal kick for Kasper Schmeichel. Schmeichel will take a little bit of time here. He's spotted that ball up on the 6-yard line in the middle. Getting ready to launch this forward. It's going to be out to the left-hand side from Kasper Schmeichel. So one in the air by Thiago, but out of play for a Leicester City throw. And to be taken by Luke Thomas. Salah warming up. Sure we'll see him sooner rather than later. Fabinho battling for the ball just in front of his teammate. Ball over the top, over his own head by Diogo Jota, looking for Fabinho. Out of play though. Leicester give the ball away. Liverpool throw just in front of Brendan Rodgers, the former Liverpool manager. Virgil van Dijk to the left-hand side for Andy Robertson. Back to Joel Matip. Matip on the halfway line, goes back to Virgil van Dijk to the right to Thiago. Thiago up against Lookman, finds a ball forward to Jota, goes down under the challenge of Luke Thomas. Referee plays the ball to the right-hand side and, well, he gave the advantage. Alexander-Arnold stopped play, kept going now. Here it is with Virgil van Dijk. To the left for Andy Robertson. Give and go with Luis Diaz. Andy Robertson towards the edge of the box, inside the box. The cut back. Good save by Kasper Schmeichel. Almost won. On the rebound by Thiago. Collides into Wilfred Ndidi and clutching at his knee. Leicester City have a lot to thank him for. Schmeichel got the initial save right, but pushed it into the middle of the box. There was a couple of players there lurking. It went past Firmino. Ndidi almost caught in possession by Thiago. His challenge just a little bit too over-eager. Schmeichel had to wait to make that save late. Was heading into the far corner. And Wilfred Ndidi took a touch as the ball came off his goalkeeper. Almost invited Thiago to strike. Soumare back to Ndidi. Inside to Dewsbury Hall. Back to the defence. Here's Daniel Amati. Amati, forward ball to Dewsbury Hall. Got a bit of space to turn into now. Go to the right-hand side. There's Mark Albrighton. Lays that back to James Justin. Now inside it's Amati. Back to the goalkeeper. Clips one to the left-hand side. Luke Thomas down on the chest. Pokes that forward. Alexander-Arnold, well, picked up easily. Ball forward and he's Patson Dakar's offside from the pass from Lookman. We're waiting for the flag and there it is eventually. Dakar made his way towards the edge of the box and the delayed flag eventually came was a clear overstepping from Patson Dakar. Just a little bit beyond Joel Matip, who is in possession of the ball, right of centre. Shifted out to the left-hand side. Luis Diaz is underneath it. Down on the chest it goes. Andy Robertson's pointing into the box, wants it. It's Luis Diaz from distance, strikes. It's got a deflection. It's all just past the near post of Kasper Schmeichel. Was caught well by Luis Diaz. He found a bit of space as Leicester retreated into their box. The strike was towards the near post. The deflection came off Daniel Amati. And Liverpool will make some changes soon. Elliott stripping off, getting ready to come on for his first Premier League game in quite some time. Also, well, Mohamed Salah about to join in. And the corner kick will be taken by Andy Robertson from the left-hand side. Robertson in towards the penalty spot. Van Dijk's underneath it and Jota with the volley. Over the bar, appeals for the corner. Nothing given by the referee. It's a goal kick. Virgil van Dijk can't believe it. Neither can Diogo Jota. Virgil van Dijk just was not picked up from the start to finish. There was no one standing with him. As they were waiting for the corner kick to be taken, the ball came in and no one followed him. Happened against Crystal Palace. That's how they scored their opener. And on comes Mohamed Salah. He's ready to join in. He's on the edge of the pitch. He's going to receive such a rapturous ovation from the Liverpool crowd. One young man with a welcome back, Mohamed Salah, with a crown on Salah's head. He's going to have to wait, though. Here's Leicester City trying to force the ball forward. Matip clears it. Out of play for a throw-in. And here will be the changes. Salah is going to be the first man to come on. Stood next to fourth official Martin Atkinson. We wait to see who comes off. Well, it's going to be Harvey Elliott, first man on in place of Curtis Jones. Of course, scored that lovely effort against Cardiff in the FA Cup to seal the passage through to the next round. And off comes Roberto Firmino. On in his place, Mohamed Salah. Heroes return. Didn't quite make it all the way in the Africa Cup of Nations, but he's back in Liverpool red and hope to bounce back with a real return to form. But Leicester City will make some changes too. Off comes Soumare. On in his place will be Yuri Tillemans. So a defensive player sacrificed for the attacking talents of the Belgian. And on comes Kelechi Iheanacho as well for Patson Dakar. So an out-and-out striker on. And an attacking midfielder come on for Leicester City. And there's Luke Thomas, tries to turn away from Elliott. Does so well. Good persistence from the left-back. Clips the ball forward. Here's Iheanacho in the box. Tries something special. Tried a back heel into the path of Lookman. Got it all wrong. Virgil van Dijk cleared it out of play for a corner. He was appealing for a goal kick. We reached the 60-minute mark. Iheanacho's run off to the corner flag to spot the ball up. Yuri Tillemans is instructing James Maddison what to do with this ball. He will take this from the left-hand touchline. Will swing in towards the goalkeeper in front of his fans, the Leicester City fans that have travelled all the way up to Liverpool this evening. In comes the corner, right-footed towards the 6-yard area. Alisson's underneath it, gets a punch towards it. It was going to dribble out of play for a corner kick, but Alexander-Arnold kept it in play and he's been given the ball back, and a long ball forward releases Liverpool. One in the air by Luke Thomas on the halfway line. Forward to Yuri Tillemans. Lays this back to James Justin. He'll go all the way back to Schmeichel. Clips one towards his right-hand side with a left-footed pass through the air. It's going to be Tillemans that wins it instead of Jota. Ball forward down the line. Flicked on by Mark Albrighton. Iheanacho can't latch onto it and Matip will take over for Liverpool. Here's Robertson. Long ball out to the left-hand side. Raking through the air. One in the air by James Justin in front of Luis Diaz. Nodded back forward by Alexander-Arnold, collected by Tillemans. To the right-hand side it goes. Albrighton. James Justin now the fullback. Goes inside to Kasper Schmeichel. First time ball. Released out to the right-hand side. Right-footed ball long in the air. Taken down on the toe by Alexander-Arnold onto his chest and then volleyed that towards the general vicinity of the left-hand side of the penalty area. There was no one in red for them, for Liverpool. And out of play for a goal kick to Kelechi Kasper Schmeichel. Apologies. Mohamed Salah Playing with a smile on his face. Looks happy to be home. It was never nice to see him in tears on the pitch in Douala in Cameroon during the Africa Cup of Nations. But a nice poignant moment as the two Liverpool teammates, Sadio and Mané, the AFCON winner, and Mohamed Salah, exchange an embrace after that final. Here's Van Dijk under pressure from both Albrighton and Maddison. Ball launched long, one in the air by Daniel Amate. That's a hefty challenge by Thiago. Jumping for them all was Dewsbury Hall. The boot was high from Thiago. He's going to be helped to his feet by the man. Amate jumped over the top of Diogo Jota. Went down in a heap. And Dewsbury Hall rather kicked into the studs. James Justin, forward from right back, tried to run, slip one through. Kelechi Iheanacho tried to find the space between Matip and Van Dijk. Two very big men just closed the door on him, allowed the ball to dribble through to Alisson, who bowled out to Matip, and he's played that across to Van Dijk. Looked to go to Matip, decided he was going to edge it forward a little bit more, but does eventually go to Joel Matip. Matip taking his time with this, back inside to Virgil van Dijk. Long ball forward to the right-hand side, looking for the run of Salah. It's broken to Lookman. Lookman's under pressure from Elliott, but he's turned away from it. Into Tielemans now. Dewsbury Hall. Skipped one way, then the other, and Luke Thomas didn't read that the ball was going to come to him. It's out to play for a Liverpool throw on the halfway line. Trent Alexander-Arnold to take. Been a shift in shape for Liverpool since the introduction of Mohamed Salah. He's not playing up front. That's more Luis Diaz's territory now. Diogo Jota's down the left. Salah, as he loves to do, operating on that right, so he can cut inside on that lethal left foot. But there's defending to do here for Liverpool. And they had such a good opportunity there for Leicester City. The pass, though, was not good enough, and Harvey Elliott carries it forward for Liverpool. To the right-hand side for Salah. Up against Luke Thomas. Back to Harvey Elliott. Inside to Salah. He's going the wrong direction, though, Mohamed Salah. He's just realised that as I said that and turned back towards the Leicester City goal. Elliott. Now Alexander-Arnold plays that back to Joel Matip. Matip pokes it forward to Fabinho. Steers this to Virgil van Dijk in the Liverpool half of the centre circle. Now Thiago collects from his centre half. It's now down to the left-hand side for Robertson. Further wide for Luis Diaz. Ball into Robertson. Sliding challenge from Mark Albrighton. Tracking him all the way. Goal kick given. Andy Robertson runs away with a smile on his face. He's not entirely sure that that's the right decision. Mark Albrighton went sliding in on the cover. The ball cannoned up and bounced off them, both of them, a couple of times. Even I can't tell you which way that went. But goal kick has been given, and Kasper Schmeichel has collected the ball. We've almost reached the 65-minute mark, so a little bit more than 25 minutes left in the game. Right-footed goal kick taken out to the left-hand side, taken down by Lookman. Juggles it a few times and tries to do something special, flicking it towards goal. So cleared by Liverpool. Comes back to Lookman. He's gone down, clutching at his head. It's an errant arm from Alexander-Arnold. I think he caught the former Charlton youth player. It was a little bit overzealous from Trent Alexander-Arnold. Just leaning in with the elbow over the top. Chris Kavanagh's going to have a word with Jürgen Klopp. Jürgen Klopp isn't happy about something. I'm not entirely sure. And here's Ademola Lookman. Twisting, turning, running away from challenges, but not towards the right direction. Finds Luke Thomas, tries to lift one in towards Iheanacho. Nodded away by Matip. Back to Lookman, though. Lookman still trying to twist away from the challenges. Forward ball. Ball clipped forward for Iheanacho. He's got control of the ball in front of Van Dijk. Lays that off to Maddison. Maddison crossed towards the back post. It's clipped away by Thiago. Harvey Elliott will get it further forward. Nodded forward by James Justin. Collects the ball, does Daniel Amate. Steers that to the right for Albrighton. Albrighton's running the wrong way and he's given the ball away. Here's Luis Diaz. Plays the ball forward for Jota. Jota in behind, but coming across on the cover was Daniel Amate. Cannons off of his shins, and Mark Albrighton will launch this clear onto the head of Virgil van Dijk. Nods that forward. Robertson takes over. Tries to find a ball forward. It's picked off by Albrighton. It's dropped here to Amati. Turns away from Jota. Out to the right-hand side. Now James Maddison receives the ball from Albrighton. And Thiago's clipped his heels. James Maddison clutching at his ankle. Just turned away from Thiago. He was there and then he wasn't. And then down on the ground went the England international. Taken quickly by Tielemans. Not seen much of him since coming on. Amati forward down the line for James Justin. Throw in. Taken by Albrighton into James Justin. He's gone down heavily, having received a challenge from Andy Robertson. Chris Kavanagh is unmoved. Long ball from Liverpool into the Leicester City half. Will dribble all the way through to Kasper Schmeichel. Ball into the feet of Wilfred Ndidi. Forward ball to Dewsbury Hall. Back to Wilfred Ndidi. Across it goes to Daniel Amati. Right of centre, just in front of the box. Forward ball to Maddison. Laid off to Dewsbury Hall. To the left-hand side it goes to Luke Thomas. Down the line for Ademola Lookman. Spins past Alexander-Arnold with ease. Lookman driving towards the box. Tries to clip it inside early. Blocked away by Matip, but it's back to Lookman. Lookman having to run back towards his own half. Tried to cut it inside. It came off of Harvey Elliott. Out to play for a throw-in to be taken by Luke Thomas. Inside it goes to Iheanacho. Down under the challenge. Referee waves play on. Plenty of bodies forward. Liverpool on the counter. It's Jota into the feet of Luis Diaz. Running into Amati. Diaz onto his left. Diaz strikes. It's over the bar. Daniel Amati went sprawling across. Put him under pressure. Made his mind up quickly. Force him onto his left foot. Daniel Amati doesn't often play in centre half, but did ever so well. Pointed where he wants Luis Diaz to play to go, and, well, the left foot just didn't pull it off. On they go. It's a goal kick to be taken by Schmeichel towards the left-hand side. Sails through the air, skewering towards the head of Joel Matip. Didn't win it. Lookman and Iheanacho look at each other like the Spider-Man meme. Neither of them challenged for the ball. Out of play in front of Brendan Rodgers for a throw-in. Taken quickly by Alexander-Arnold into the feet of Matip. Steers this back to Alisson. First time ball out to Van Dijk to left of centre just outside the box. Here's Van Dijk. Forward ball to Thiago. Return first time to him. Van Dijk now to the left for Robertson. Goes back inside to Van Dijk. Liverpool captain forward to Fabinho. Fabinho turns on it. He's going to go to his right-hand side where Matip is right of centre, midway through his own half. Back it goes from Matip to the goalkeeper. First time ball out from him to Virgil van Dijk. Out to the left. Robertson's on the halfway line. Inside to Thiago. Leicester City retreating now. Thiago carrying the ball forward. Runs into James Maddison. Right ball raking out to the right-hand side for Alexander-Arnold. Lays that off to Harvey Elliott. It's going to try and twist away from Dewsbury Hall, but Dewsbury Hall sticks with the task. Has to go back to Matip. Inside it goes to Virgil van Dijk. Forward ball to Thiago on the halfway line, left of centre. Clipped out to the left-hand side for Robertson. First time ball into the path of Luis Diaz, left of centre. Back to Andy Robertson. Can't get it under control. Luis Diaz will chase and challenge and slide in with Tielemans. It's broken there to Dewsbury Hall. Appeals there from Liverpool players for a handball. Nothing given. James Justin has the ball on the edge of the area. Clips it long forward looking for Iheanacho. Virgil van Dijk tumbles to the ground in a heap. Chris Kavanagh plays advantage. Kelechi Iheanacho apologises to the Liverpool centre half. It's out with Alexander-Arnold on the right-hand side of the box into Mo Salah. Can't get it under control. Dewsbury Hall carries clear for Leicester City. Ademola Lookman goes streaking away in front of him. Tried to release the ball for Lookman. Elliott got a foot to it. Pokes it out of play just in front of the dugouts. Into the Liverpool dugout for Jürgen Klopp. All eyes on Chris Kavanagh there. The appeals were relatively vociferous. It skipped up off the deck into the hands of Dewsbury Hall. They were down low by his side. Thiago Jota led those appeals. He was right behind Dewsbury Hall. Nothing given, and that's the right decision too. Thrown in from Luke Thomas. Iheanacho was running away. It was aimed at his chest and given away. Liverpool with the ball forward. Luis Diaz takes it down on his chest. Out to the left-hand side for Robertson. Skips past Albrighton. Out of play for a Leicester City throw. Robertson poked the ball one side, tried to go the other, and didn't manage to do very well. It's laid back here to Daniel Amati. Forward ball to Tielemans. Under a bit of pressure from Jota and Thiago. To the right to James Justin. Back to Tielemans. Ball forward down up to the halfway line. Nodded forward by Virgil van Dijk. Thiago takes it down on his chest. He's lost out to James Maddison. Releases down the line. Iheanacho will get on the end of this, will he? No. Been covered well by Joel Matip and plays it back to Alisson. Iheanacho's shown no interest in pressing the Liverpool goalkeeper. 6-yard diagonally to his right. The ball goes to Virgil van Dijk. Now across to Joel Matip. The two centre halves have swapped sides. Robertson Takes a touch, realising he has no options. Goes back inside to Matip. Now to the right for Virgil van Dijk. Harvey Elliott. Back to Van Dijk. Forward ball from the centre half to Alexander-Arnold. One as the ball came in early. Ball forward to Jota. Streaking into the box. Steps over it. Does Luis Diaz. Goal at his mercy. He was trying to set up Mo Salah there, but should have struck at goal. Here's Jota. Liverpool still on the attack. Jota into the box. Onto his right foot. Jota trying to find a bit of space. He's kept running into the same area as Luis Diaz, and they got in each other's way. Leicester City have got the ball clear. Iheanacho, that's come off his arm. Don't think that was intentional, but just instinct. It'll be a free kick on the halfway line for Liverpool, left of centre. Fabinho's collected the ball. He's wandering towards the halfway line. The Leicester City body language doesn't look great at the moment. Thiago received the pass from Fabinho. Back to Van Dijk. Now Matip. Matip plays it over the halfway line to Harvey Elliott. Back into the feet of Matip from the former Fulham man. Cross it goes to Virgil van Dijk. Now back to Matip. Carries it into the Leicester City half. Down the right-hand side for Harvey Elliott. Inside to Alexander-Arnold. Forward ball to Mo Salah. On the half turn. Turns well, but can't get the pass away. Comes back to him, though. It's into Thiago. Then Fabinho, who's played this out to the left-hand side. Robertson lines up the cross. Early ball into the box. It's intended for Salah. Nodded away by Amati. Alexander-Arnold wins the second ball. It's out to the right-hand side for Harvey Elliott. Elliott through the legs of Dewsbury Hall. Turning on it is Mo Salah. Mo Salah from a tight angle. Good save at the near post by Kasper Schmeichel. Made himself big. Very reminiscent of his father there. And the turn from Mohamed Salah in the box was absolutely exquisite. They've taken the corner kick quickly. Alexander-Arnold with the cross into the box. It's off the head of Matip. And kept in play by Kasper Schmeichel, who catches as the ball was about to dribble out of play for a goal kick. Wow. Short distribution from Schmeichel into the feet of Amati. There's Dewsbury Hall. Back to Amati. Amati trying to run away with it. Out to the left for Luke Thomas. Now forward for James Maddison. Maddison bursting down the left-hand side. Inside it goes to Dewsbury Hall. Maddison goes streaking on ahead of him. It's out to the left, though, for Lookman. Back it goes to Luke Thomas. All the way back now to Ndidi. Now Amati in the central area. Up towards the halfway line now. Over it goes to Iheanacho. Dewsbury Hall's given that away. It's given it to Mo Salah. He's through on goal, streaking towards Schmeichel. Mo Salah clipped it. Great save by Schmeichel. Stood up the whole way there. Salah is writhing around on the ground. Tielemans with the ball. Into the feet of Luke Thomas. Out to the right for Dewsbury Hall. Kasper Schmeichel consoling Mo Salah. Looks in some discomfort here. Iheanacho to the left for Lookman. Leicester City on the attack here. Ademola Lookman onto his right foot. Plays this back to Yuri Tielemans now. Dewsbury Hall. Tielemans once again now. Dewsbury Hall down the line for Lookman. Lookman running at Trent Alexander-Arnold. Inside it goes to Maddison. Bit of space. Clips it over the top. Beyond Matip and Alexander-Arnold for Lookman. And frustration there on show from Liverpool. They wanted the ball played out of play. Not Leicester City's job. Mo Salah left in a heap. The pass from Dewsbury Hall really opened up Leicester City. All the way back to Salah. The challenge came in behind. From Daniel Amati. It was desperate stuff. And he's just... Well, it's a clumsy one. Salah got his shot away at goal. Tried to chip the goalkeeper, who stood up well to the task. Saved it and kept Leicester City within touching distance of their hosts. Here's Matip to the right to Alexander-Arnold. Back inside to Matip. Liverpool cut an angry-looking figure at the moment. They aren't particularly happy with the way Leicester City have been playing. Quite physical in the challenges, the Blues. The Foxes. Elliott back to Matip. Across it goes to Virgil van Dijk. He's got Thiago to his left, but goes back to Matip to the right-hand side. He's right of centre. Carries the ball over the halfway line. Salah's in front of him. Goes to the right, though, to Alexander-Arnold. His instinct takes him back towards Virgil van Dijk. Little Cruyff turn under no pressure. Diagonally to the right for Matip. Further down the right-hand touchline for Alexander-Arnold. Back to Matip. Trying to work it here, Liverpool. Matip will carry into the Leicester City half. Back to the right-hand side for Alexander-Arnold. Shift of play out to the left now. Robertson takes a touch. Under pressure from Justin. Drifting in field. Lays this off to Thiago. Thiago inside to Fabinho in the centre circle. There is Matip, still in the Leicester City half, finds a ball to Alexander-Arnold. Good crossing position. Lookman got back quickly, though. Blocks the pass down the line from Alexander-Arnold, but it fell kindly for the number 66. Inside to Fabinho. Finds Matip now to the right for Mohamed Salah. Tries to give the give and go with Alexander-Arnold. The pass from the fullback wasn't good enough, though, but he's recovered it with a challenge on Lookman and Thomas. Here's Thiago centrally. Thiago lines up the shot. Good tackle from Tielemans. So broken to Elliott. Shifted on quickly to Mohamed Salah on the left foot. Mohamed Salah with a curling effort. Strikes the angle of post and bar. Still on, though. Robertson with the attempted cross. Drop to Luis Diaz, and it's another shot at goal, and it's a good save by Kasper Schmeichel. Really caught that, did the Colombian. Looked to be heading towards the corner of the goal, and he's still in possession of the ball here. Luis Diaz running at James Justin. 3 in the box for Liverpool. Robertson, Jota, and Salah at the back post. Here's Thiago out to the left-hand side for Luis Diaz. He's running out of a bit of steam here, and he's lost the ball out to Tielemans, who's given Liverpool the throw in. The first strike from Salah, it was glorious from the corner of the penalty area to the far post. So much whip, so much curl, just dipped onto the bar. And then Luis Diaz on the half volley. Well, that was heading towards the top netting, and fortunately for Kasper Schmeichel, the curl was just taking it into him. As Leicester City make another change, off comes Ademola Lookman. On comes Harvey Barnes. Lookman fits and starts this evening. Some moments of brightness. Some moments where decisions are just lacking. There is Elliott driving down the right-hand side, running at Dewsbury Hall. Inside it goes to Salah. So back to Fabinho. Plays this back to Alexander-Arnold. Forward to Fabinho. Laid back to Matip. Under pressure from Iheanacho. Goes back to Alisson on the edge of his D. Forward ball to Van Dijk. Left of centre. Outside of the box. Long ball through the air. Diagonally up to Alexander-Arnold. Takes it down exquisitely. Tries to force it forward to Salah. Off the chest of Luke Thomas. Into the feet of Maddison. Tries to give and go with Tielemans. The distribution from the Belgium is poor. Thiago to the left, but Robertson diagonally heading toward the box. Tries an early pass into the feet of Jota. Sliding in as Tielemans. Made amends for it. Gets it clear. The pass back towards Maddison was poor, though. Almost set Liverpool on their way to another goal. There is Thiago. 35 yards from goal. Left of centre. Lays this back to Virgil van Dijk. Out to the left-hand side to Andy Robertson. Robertson with the early cross. Off of Justin. Back to Robertson. Cannon off of him. Inside from Justin goes to Tielemans. Launches this clear. Long looking for Iheanacho. Virgil van Dijk's got there first, though. Inside it goes from Thiago to Fabinho. Now, Andy Robertson to the left-hand side for Luis Diaz. Diaz. Inside to Fabinho. Down the line from Thiago. Robertson has a clear run at the box now. Robertson with a cut back towards Alexander-Arnold from distance. Took it down on the volley. Let it bounce. Struck over the bar. More of a conversion attempt than a strike at goal, that. And Trent Alexander-Arnold not at his glittering best. So Kasper Schmeichel collects the ball from the ball retrievers behind that goal. And he'll take this goal kick from a central position long. Straight through the middle of the field. It's going to land on the head of Andy Robertson. Miscue from the goalkeeper, but in the middle of the park, there's Albrighton. Ball over the top. Iheanacho's onto it. Iheanacho up against Matip. Strikes. Did that take a deflection off of Matip? It didn't. Iheanacho's frustrating. Tearing his hair out at that. The angle was narrowing, and he only really had the near post to strike at. It's around 17 yards from goal there, and didn't get it right at all. Liverpool haven't been totally in control of the game. Moments from Leicester City, they just haven't taken their chances. There is Albrighton. He's lost out into the midfield for Harvey Elliott to the right-hand side. Mohamed Salah running at Thomas. Salah pokes it past him. Thomas almost didn't get there. It's out to Dewsbury Hall heading towards the corner flag. Needs to get it clear. Does so, but straight into the chest of Alexander-Arnold in an advanced position. Into the feet of Salah. Back heel to Elliott. He's in an offside position, surely. Laid back to Alexander-Arnold. No flag yet. Alexander-Arnold tells Harvey Elliott to run away. Instead goes inside to Salah. Salah trying to keep control of the ball. He's lost out to Tielemans. But it's broken here to Salah. Ball to Luis Diaz. Diaz at the near post. Saved by Kasper Schmeichel. Then another one in front of Fabinho. Kasper Schmeichel's had a string of saves, and Leicester City are on the break here. There's 3-on-2. James Maddison to Iheanacho. Wide in a crossing position. Iheanacho heads towards the box. Cut back towards James Maddison. Easily picked off by Thiago. Really telegraphed what they were doing there. Leicester City and Harvey Elliott will carry this away. Got less than 10 minutes of the 90. Elliott to the right-hand side for Mohamed Salah. Salah back to Elliott. Elliott on the edge of the box, right of centre. Flicks it to the left-hand side for Andy Robertson. He's going to have to sprint to keep this in play, and does so. Or does he try to clip it down the line just to keep it in play? Looks like it's dribbled out of play. We'll have a look at that chance from Luis Diaz as well. Diaz took a touch lovely onto his left foot, shifted onto his right. The angle was narrow. He was on the apex of the 6-yard box. Tried to go between the legs of Schmeichel. Closed his legs just in time, did the Leicester City captain. Fabinho was there. Kasper Schmeichel went sprawling across, but he had defensive cover as well. It's thrown in by James Justin to Albrighton. Albrighton's given the ball away to Diaz. Ball forward by Thiago. Jota at the byline. Cuts it back. Nodded out of play by Wilfred Ndidi for a corner kick. Diogo Jota did ever so well to get to the ball before it went out of play for a goal kick. And Liverpool will have a corner. Leicester City need to organise themselves here. A goal here would really end their hopes of taking anything from this game. Robertson will take, left-footed, swinging away from the goalkeeper. In towards the near post. Nodded away by Justin. James Maddison takes it down on the edge of the box. Flicks it towards Harvey Barnes, but it's out of play for a Liverpool throw down the left-hand side. Robertson's there, handed the ball by the ball boy on the far side. Robertson just taking his time here. Throws to Thiago, unmarked. Thiago spins away, shifts it to Matip into the centre circle. Passes over the halfway line to Alexander-Arnold, right of centre. Ball forward first time from Mohamed Salah to Harvey Elliott. Spins away nicely. Laid back to Alexander-Arnold. Salah is wide down the right-hand touchline. Salah running at Dewsbury Hall, and Luke Thomas gets the ball away to Elliott, but nipped away from him by Tielemans to Iheanacho. Now James Maddison back to Iheanacho over the halfway line to Harvey Barnes down the left-hand side. Ball forward for James Maddison. No flag. In behind. James Maddison looking for the cut back to Harvey Barnes. Blocked away by Fabinho. And finally the flag goes up. It took all that time for the flag to go up eventually. He wasn't in offside position. So play was allowed to continue on and on and on. And when it finally fizzled out, the flag did go up. Offside on James Maddison. We're seeing replays again of that wonderful Mohamed Salah effort that almost dipped inside the bar. He's come deep into Liverpool half to join in with the play. Alexander-Arnold's launched that clear to the left-hand side. Luis Diaz is underneath it. James Justin just couldn't get ahead to it. Diaz has played that back to Robertson, inside to Thiago. Busting down the left-hand side is Robertson. First time crossing towards the 6-yard line. Jota was there, but so was Daniel Amati and Wilfred Ndidi. Nigerian got it clear. Out of play for a corner kick. Robertson will take this one. Wilfred Ndidi. Well, he's out of position, but he has looked very good at centre-half. And Robertson will try and make this 1-goal lead a 2-goal lead from this corner. Virgil van Dijk's there, so is Matip. Fabinho, the big man. In comes the corner towards the back post. Flicked on by Virgil van Dijk. Mohamed Salah will run to the byline to keep this in play and does so. Plays it back right-footed to Thiago. Inside it goes. There's Alexander-Arnold. Ball over the top. Luis Diaz is the target. It's Virgil van Dijk. Takes it down on the chest. Now Luis Diaz. Picked towards the back post. Mohamed Salah's underneath it, but Justin gets the header on it. So it drops here to Harvey Barnes, just outside the area. Fabinho gets a foot in. Elliott tries to play in Diaz. Comes to Matip on the edge of the area. Forward ball to Jota. Jota strikes and it's in. Schmeichel got a hand to it. Wonderful turn from Diogo Jota. It's his second of the game. The ball was fizzed into his feet. He managed to get control of it. Manages to turn. It's become such a trademark of Diogo Jota. Receiving the ball on the half turn, quickly spinning. It went down low to Kasper Schmeichel's right-hand side. The save probably makes the finish look a little bit better because Schmeichel got the hand to it, but not enough. to push it round the post. Just enough to push it further into the corner. It was all a bit desperate stuff from Leicester there. Defensive shape just totally lacking. No question of offside, no foul in the build-up. Diogo Jota in acres of space. The ball was basically on the penalty spot as he spot on it and struck. Schmeichel, he was close to him, just mid-height to his right-hand side to clip the underside of his glove. He watched and as the ball just dribbled off the underside of his glove into the corner and lets out a scream of frustration. And Diogo Jota might have scored the goal, but all the celebrations are for Joel Matip. He did so well on the edge of the area. And surely that's game over for Leicester City. Liverpool 2-0 up now. And Leicester really haven't created very much in this second half. There's Thiago inside to Fabinho. Laid back to Virgil van Dijk. Van Dijk to the left-hand side. To Robertson. Forward to Jota. Jota runs at James Justin. Sends him one way, then the other. He's going to go around the outside. Justin bites back at him, but Jota's still in possession. Lays this back to Andy Robertson. Inside it goes to Luis Diaz. Thiago off the chest into the feet of Robertson. Tries to backheel it down the line. Doesn't get that right. And out of play for a Leicester City throw to be taken by Justin. So the final 2 minutes of the 90. Justin with the ball above his head. Ready to throw this into play. Maddison is there. So is Tielemans. Albrighton's also dropped deep. Dewsbury Hall. That looked like a foul throw to Albrighton. Nothing given though. Ball forward to Iheanacho. Off the chest. Turns well. Running away from it is Harvey Barnes. Iheanacho can't find the far pass forward though. Fired towards Mohamed Salah by Robertson. One in the air by Amati. Fabinho in the midfield wins that for Liverpool. Diogo Jota's fouled his man. So not happy with the decision. Diogo Jota scrunched his face up. There will be another change here for Liverpool. Off will come Luis Diaz. It's been a really, you have to say, a really exciting debut for the Colombian. Came for big money, but the price tag really doesn't seem to have caused him any troubles. No weight on those shoulders. Some flashes of brilliance, just not the goal he probably deserved from the performance to cap it off. Was all over the place, played through the left, down the right, central areas. He did his defensive duties. That looks to be a really astute purchase for Liverpool. He's going to be replaced by Minamino, who's gone straight up top. Long ball from Leicester, off the head of Thomas. Drops here to Barnes. Inside him is Dewsbury Hall. Cross into the box towards the 6-yard area. Virgil van Dijk did so well there. There was a threat at the back post and at the front in the form of Iheanacho. And Maddison. It'll be a corner for him to take. Spotting the ball up on that far side. Right-footed corner taker will swing away from Alisson. They've sent Amati and Ndidi up. Iheanacho's at the near post. Harvey Barnes in the central area. And it comes towards Amati. Flicked away by Virgil van Dijk. It's going to be collected here by Luke Thomas. Goes inside to Yuri Tielemans. Down the line for Harvey Barnes. Dewsbury Hall to Luke Thomas. Down the line for Dewsbury Hall to run onto. Got inside to Harvey Barnes. Cleared away by Thiago. So drop here to Amati. Nods it to Dewsbury Hall. Appeals for offside from Liverpool's defence. Dewsbury Hall plays that behind. That one will be given offside, I'm sure. But Liverpool carried away. Fabinho launches it clear. Jota's putting Justin under pressure. Has to nod it out of play towards Jürgen Klopp. We're into the time added on. There'll be 3 of it. Diogo Jota, with his 2 goals, has been named man of the match. Liverpool fans would have been fearing when Mané and Salah both went off to the Africa Cup of Nations, but Diogo Jota was given the responsibility of scoring the goals for Liverpool, and he's done so ever so well. 2 tonight to add to his tally. Here's Salah though. Inside it goes to Minamino. Laid off to Harvey Elliott. Elliott drifting right, left, now through the centre. Minamino out to the left-hand side for Robertson. Could there be another sting in the tail here for Leicester City? Minamino tries to squeeze it past Tielemans and Albrighton, but he doesn't get there. The pass forward, though, is blocked out by Fabinho. Cross into the box from Robertson. Salah jumped for it, but so did Wilfred Ndidi, and Salah was in an offside position. And we've had half of our 3 minutes of time added on. Jürgen Klopp is shouting something at the referee. He's not happy with some decisions. He's counted 1, 2, 3, whether that's fouls or instances that he thought should have been bookings. That's up to him, yes. Diogo Jota. It's 10 goals so far this season. He's got 12 after tonight. Here's Maddison, though, still trying to give Leicester something from this game. Maddison forward to Tielemans. Loose touch. Fabinho picks it up. Here's Jota. Can he get a hat-trick? Jota running at Amati. Out to the far side. Picked off by Salah. Salah off the deflection from Amati. Struck at goal. Straight down the gullet of Kasper Schmeichel. He's rolled this out to James Justin. Less than a minute left in the game. To the right-hand side it goes to Albrighton. Ball down the line looking for Iheanacho. He was inside. Virgil van Dijk picked it off. Forward ball to Thiago. Inside to Fabinho. Goes to the right for Alexander-Arnold. Harvey Elliott's inside between the lines. He's gone down the line though to Salah. Salah found Elliott. Elliott passes back to Alexander-Arnold. Back to Matip now. Midway through his own half. Now to the left. That's a pass that he sold Virgil van Dijk short. Iheanacho's collected this. Iheanacho running at van Dijk inside. Tries to find Harvey Barnes. Slip from Virgil van Dijk. Allows Barnes to collect the ball. But he can't make good use of it. Matip got it clear. Only as far as Albrighton. Tries to get the ball into play.